The Doctor's Lair. In the small, forgotten town of Eldridge Hollow, whispers of a once-renowned physician named Dr. Harold Voss echoed through the cobblestone streets. After a series of mysterious disappearances, the townsfolk had long since shunned his decrepit mansion, a looming structure that seemed to absorb the very light around it. Years ago, Dr. Voss had been celebrated for his groundbreaking work in medicine, especially in the field of surgery. Patients flocked to him from distant towns, eager for his miraculous touch. But as his fame grew, so did the darkness within him. His experiments became increasingly bizarre, pushing the boundaries of ethics in search of immortality. One rainy night, a desperate knock echoed through the mansion. It was Clara, a young woman whose father was gravely ill. With nowhere else to turn, she sought out the reclusive doctor. As she stepped through the threshold, the air thickened with an oppressive silence. The walls were lined with dusty portraits of past patients, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. "Welcome," Dr. Voss greeted her, his voice smooth yet chilling. He looked older than she expected, his once handsome features marred by deep shadows and an unsettling smile that lingered too long. "You've come to save your father. I can help you." Clara hesitated, but felt a flicker of hope. Dr. Voss led her to a dimly lit examination room, filled with strange instruments and the fetid scent of antiseptic. The walls were adorned with faded medical charts, and in the corner, a glass cabinet held jars filled with murky liquids, preserved organs, and other unspeakable specimens. "Your father needs a special procedure, one that can only be performed under the right conditions," he said, his eyes gleaming with a manic light. "But it requires cooperation." Clara's heart raced as he revealed his sinister plan. He needed a living donor to fuel his next experiment, a ritual that promised to unlock the secrets of life and death. The desperation in her voice turned to shock as she realized her father was not the only one in his sights. "I won't let you," she shouted, backing away. But the door slammed shut behind her, trapping her inside the lair of madness. Dr. Voss's demeanor shifted, the charm fading into a predatory gaze. "You misunderstand. This is for the greater good. Just think of the knowledge we could unlock together." With adrenaline coursing through her veins, Clara searched for an escape. She stumbled upon a hidden room, filled with the remnants of his past experiments, failed surgeries and grotesque paraphernalia. The walls seemed to pulse with the memories of those who had suffered at his hands. As she rummaged through the darkness, she uncovered a journal filled with his manic scrawl, accounts of patients who had vanished after their operations, their screams echoing in the night. The truth hit her like a brick. Dr. Voss wasn't just a doctor, he was a monster, feeding on the lives of the desperate. Clara's mind raced as she devised a plan. If she couldn't escape, she would turn the tables. She needed to confront him with his own madness. Steeling herself, she returned to the examination room, her voice steady. "I know what you've done," she declared, her eyes locking onto his. "You're a murderer, and it ends tonight." Dr. Voss laughed, a chilling sound that echoed off the walls. "You think you can stop me? I'm on the brink of greatness." In a flash, Clara seized a scalpel from the table and lunged at him. The two struggled, each trying to dominate the other in a dance of desperation and survival. The room filled with the sounds of their struggle, punctuated by the doctor's enraged shouts. As she fought, Clara noticed a flicker of doubt in his eyes. The weight of his past was crashing down upon him, and in that moment of hesitation, she found her opening. She plunged the scalpel deep into his side, a final act of defiance against the nightmare he had created. Dr. Voss gasped, the manic light fading from his eyes as he crumpled to the floor. You don't understand," he wheezed, blood pooling around him. But Clara knew. She knew the darkness he embodied, and she would not let it claim another life. As she staggered back, the mansion seemed to groan, as if its very foundation was mourning the loss of its master. Clara escaped into the stormy night, leaving the cursed legacy of Dr. Harold Voss behind. But as she ran, the shadows of Eldridge Hollow whispered a warning. The evil that had once thrived in that mansion might be gone, but the darkness it had unleashed would always linger, waiting for the next desperate soul to wander too close.